But let's move from climate to migration. The Parliament has just approved a law on these very controversial return hubs. Should EU money be spent on these return hubs, Mr. Weber?
It must work. You know, in this moment of time, only 20% of the decisions that someone must leave the European Union is an illegal here, and not from a politician. It's from a judge. It's from an official service in the European Union. If someone is illegal, he has to leave the European Union, and only 20% are enforced in this moment.
And who should pay for these return hubs?
Well, return hub is only one part of a big legislation. And just to remind everyone, we were fighting about this migration thing for more than 10 years in Europe. It created a lot
Since Lampedusa in 2013.
It created a lot of problems and also created a lot of right extreme parties. And now I am proud as European politician that I can tell people that we have now a solution, that 25 member states agreed, that all centre parties agreed. We do it together and we have an answer on this. We enforce it, and the main message is the state decides who is arriving and not the smugglers in the Mediterranean Sea.
And which countries will these return hubs be in?
Well, it's now up to the member states, so they have
What's your preference?
It's not up to us on European level to decide about this. We have partners in Africa, in the Middle East, where we can work with, but it's up now to the colleagues to coordinate and to find partners. And it's not a must, you know. If France and other countries are not using this option, then it's fine. But we have to enforce it. It must work.
And what you mentioned France, what about Spain though? This week, of course, big news with Pedro Sanchez saying that 1 million people have applied for his programme for undocumented migrants. He argues that without immigration, Spain would lose 19% of its GDP by 2050. Does he have a point?
Well, Europe needs migration and legal migration. We need workers for our care system, for example. So that's obvious.
So do you support his plan?
The key question is who is invited to stay here. And if you legalize all illegals who are today in Spain, that's not the persons and personalities we need. We need qualified people who can really contribute to our system. And that is not happening in Spain.
These people, though, will contribute.
By the way, if we speak about a number of above 1 million people, that's not normal migration. Huh? That's not normal migration when you have such a massive increase.
But these people are already in the country working illegally. They're undocumented. So now if they become legal, they'll contribute.
That's up to the authorities to assess this. Again, nothing against legal migration. But again, if you speak about 1 million in a few weeks to be legalized, that's not a normal procedure. I hope that this is not a normal procedure. That's why I'm not in favor of this. And that has also impact to the others. So if Spain is doing it, they have the right of freedom of movement. They can go to France, they can go to Belgium, they can go to Poland.
Are these people a threat, do you think?
That's why it is an issue for all of us. And that's why I would expect that also leaders speak about these kind of massive 1 million people. Massive legalization, that's an issue for Europe.